right. Good evening, Mr. Gilling.
Sure.
Well, welcome to my house.
I'm telling you. Yeah, I don't know that I've been to your studio before.
No.
You have been to mine.
I've been to your studio before. This is your first time at my studio, and I wasn't actually prepared for guests today, but fortunately we do have a B area in our
B,
studio.
B,
Yes, we have an A area and a B area. B for the best.
Yeah, okay, all right.
But good evening, everyone. I'm Khalid Thompson. If y'all remember me, I don't know. I haven't been on Jamaicans.com for a while, but.
Neither me. You know,
really?
I haven't been on for a year.
Wow.
Since I started the campaign, I haven't been on.
Okay. Well, so I'm hanging out with my friend and one of the next commissioners of Miramar, Mr. Leo Gilling. And we're going to talk today about your objectives, why it is that you're deciding to run, who the heck is Leo Gilling, and why should Miramar come out and vote for you to be their next commissioner.
So I'm assuming that because you know everything about me, you just want to hear about my campaign, right?
No, well, the thing is that one of the things that we forget as media personalities is that whilst we are constantly giving people information about the world and about other things, they don't know anything about us.
That's right.
So I'm gonna actually ask you to kind of introduce yourself, not where you went to school and all that kind of stuff, but who is Leo Gilling as a person, and why should Miramar, the city of Miramar, pay attention to this person?
That's a great question.
Yeah. What does Miramar need to know about you?
Thank you, Khalid. Listen, my name is Leo Gilling, and I'm running for Commissioner seat 4 in the city of Miramar. I am an accountant. I understand budgeting. I understand how to articulate the budget. I understand how to read every lined item on there. Right?
I need to hire you. Sorry.
I'm a business owner. I've owned 4 businesses over the past 25 years. 2 very successful restaurants and 2 very successful insurance agency.
Why are you running for commissioner? Sorry.
I know. The good thing about it though is, I don't even know what a commissioner makes. Mm-hmm. What I'm running on is the fact that I want to do more for people. Right. Because I've been doing this for 30 years. This is just a continuation of what I've been doing.
Of your life in service.
My life.
Yes.
I spend 2/3 of my, or probably more than 2/3 of my life, giving back in a sense. But and so I have not been to my office in probably 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. But it's because of the flexibility. My office runs independently of me. Right. I mean, my manager does better than me anyway, right? Mm-hmm. But because my office runs independently of me, I can do these things, and I can go to the Caribbean and do things, and I can come back and do things in my community, as free as I want to.
So let me step back, because we started off with the introduction, and it was a concise elevator pitch type of introduction. But you started off by saying that you are a business guy, right?
I'm an accountant.
Yes.
I'm an educator.
Yes.
I'm a philanthropist.
Let's start on the business side, right?
All right, great.
As a business person, you're saying that you have an office and somebody else is managing and running that office. And to me, that is a true business person, because it does not mean that you are the business. It means you own and you operate and you run the business. You know how to delegate, you know to select the right people and put the right people in place to get the job done, still be profitable.
Absolutely.
Okay.
My office is producing even more than when I was sitting in there. So it's really...
How are you going to translate that to working on
Well, the good thing about it, what I have is the ability to look at my business at a broad, create a development plan, a strategic plan for my business, and then I go by, take bits and pieces of it and insert it every day through my manager. In the same way, the city of Miramar has a developmental plan. It has a strategic plan, but we have fell short of that strategic plan because the city of Miramar is developing in terms of housing. And we have the fastest growing city, and it's great, the fastest growing city in Broward County, in probably the state. However, we don't, as part of the development plan, we don't do a good job of creating commerce and retail and shopping. We fell short of shopping. We don't see any age 20 to 45 years old on the street like you see in Pembroke Pines. I'm out there. I've spoken to probably about 8,000 persons in the past year. And we don't see no buzzing of the city with young people who have their families and going out to shopping and going to eat dinner and so forth. That doesn't happen in the Miramar.
You know, this is so important of a clarification, right? Because in my mind, I'm saying, but don't you have Pembroke Gardens? And then I'm like, Pembroke Gardens is not in Miramar.
Most people think that.
Right.
Every time I talk to someone, they say, oh, we have Cheesecake Factory. That's in Pembroke Pine.
Right.
Brio's in Pembroke Pine. Olive Garden is in Cooper Hawks is in Pembroke. All of these restaurants are in Pembroke Pine. So what is happening is that the dollars that we are spending in our city
are going to the neighboring city
and building that city.
Right.
So if we consider this, we have 143,000 people in our city. And consider if we have most of those people who are spending dollars in our city, we wouldn't be increasing our taxes as it happened recently.
Okay, so your city right now is more of a residential type of city, not a Mayor Messam likes to talk about how much business is kind of headquartered in Miramar, but those big commercial places, not the retail things that are actually bringing the money and the cash.
That is exactly right.
Cash flow.
Yeah, we don't have state taxes, so they're not paying state taxes.
Right.
So they probably give a chunk of money to the city, but it's not enough.
Right.
We have a Red Road exit off of the turnpike. Do you know how important that is? Look at it. Right at the corner of Miramar Boulevard and Red Road, we probably have about 300,000 to 500,000 cars that come off of that to go to Pembroke Pines and go to Miami Gardens.
And a lot of land. It's a
lot
hotel and a
of
little
space.
strip.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's no business there.
Right,
and could a PF Chang's use that space as a visible?
Yes.
How much?
Yes.
I mean, do you understand the amount of money that we're losing down the drain?
Right.
Do you know that we don't have a movie theater in Miramar?
Wow.
We don't have a movie theater in Miramar. And I am looking at proposing that Regional Park be turned into a drive-in theater where the city can advertise holographic advertisement driving in and driving out. That's big dollars. That's money that's coming in to offset the budget, the expenses in the budget. And we could put one of those indoor movie theaters on the east side, in historic Miramar, right? Look, we have about 42 parks, right? I don't know if you've been to the airport, and when you go into the airport, it says Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi, right?
Yes.
And then when you click on the free Wi-Fi, you see an ad, right? And that ad says something about a business.
Right.
That airport is making millions of dollars on that ad.
Right.
Consider if we put Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi in those parks for them to use those Wi-Fi, and in municipal buildings. We are selling ads there, a lot of money, millions of dollars. So instead of increasing property taxes and water bill and all of that, we are making money from our own residents, spending and sustaining our own sales inside of our city.
All right, so let me stick on that point for a moment,
sir.
right? Because
Yes,
we're
ma'am.
talking. I'll take, sir. I'm good or whatever. Right? Sounds very auspicious. Right? I want to stick a pin right there because we're talking about the accounting and why the city making money and whatever. Why does anybody care that the city makes money? And you're bringing home the point there a while ago that the more money that the city is making by commerce and so forth is the less in taxes
There you go.
that the residents have to pay. So
There
can
you
you
go.
break that down a little bit for the...
So here goes. Each time, so last year we raised taxes, right? Let's look at your checkbook. You have $300 in your checkbook, right? And all of your
Yes, all right.
all of your expenses come up to $350.
Lord of mercy.
You know how that go, right? You know how that go, right?
Credit card, borrow, mommy, can I borrow?
Right? And so when it comes to paying your bills, you're $50 short.
Right.
This is what has happened to us in November. We had high expenses because we have a lot of expenses. Police is $49 million. Fire is $33 million, and our budget is close to $300 million.
And your city look crisp. It needs to
look nice.
Crisp,
Yes,
right?
yes.
I got you.
I have gone out. As I say, I've met a lot of people. I go on the west side, and then I go to Publix on the west side. I stand up in front of Publix, right? And every minute and a half or 2 minutes, I'll see a person pass me, right? And I stop them and talk to them. If I go on the east side, and I go to Publix on the east side, I have to be chasing down people because I stop here and someone bounce me. I mean, the buzz of the city is on the east side.
Right.
Definitely no way.
Right.
And so I am thinking that if we can create more income by, do you know what Grand Market is?
Yes.
During Christmas.
Yes.
So we open Grand Market the end of Thanksgiving and close it at the end of December. And we have LED lights running from 68th Street all the way to 49th Street, all the way to 441. And we have all the homes right there on Miramar Parkway just light up. Give them those lights and they light up and show Christmas and Jesus and baby Jesus, all that stuff. Just a competition rolling down. You know how much money we could be making charging vehicles going down there? It would be really great. We also need social and cultural activities. You are a cultural person. So Shirley Branca Park was just upgraded to having a band shelter, right? But we're not using it because we have a lot of people in Miramar who are singers, who are guitarists, who are drummers, who are...
I'm going to tell you, it's a little pricey to you.
That is exactly my point.
There's some red tape
Think about it.
Ticketing and...
It's too hard.
It's very challenging.
Okay, so therefore we need to open that up so that people can use this thing because it's set up for the community, right? And so think about this. Everybody on the east and west has a mango tree, kalalu, coconut. I walk into a coconut, somebody yard and they add so much coconut on there. I say, oh my God.
You came here and didn't bring me any coconut.
I'm telling you. People know how to bake pudding. People know how to bake cakes. And look at a fresh farmer's market in you know what that does? It opens up cultural activity, social activity, economic activity. It opens up people just getting to know each other right there in Shirley Branca Park on a Saturday morning, selling flowers, selling kalalu. This is what people want to do when they come out. And Shirley Branca Park should not be that expensive. It should be something that's open up to the public that when they want to use it, boom, they use it.
Right.
And the city sets a schedule and say every 2 weeks we're going to have a farmer's market. Every 2 weeks we're going to have a poetry and something competition, whatever it is. You know, that's the kind of life that we need to be living in and creating, taking away that cultural barrier where only Jamaicans do Jamaican stuff.
Right.
Only Cuban does Cuban stuff. You understand? We want to bring everybody together under that band shell. Look at that. We could use that. There's so many people out there doing fish fry on a Friday night. Why not bring them all together and make we have fun right there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like how they do with food trucks where they just make
Absolutely.
a circle.
Just put a circle and just make people come out and compete for the best fried fish on a Friday night. Right? So we are not using the resources that we have as effectively as we can. Right. And so I believe that I have the ability to get on the dais, get on the commission, and make a huge impact with the rest of the commissioners.
So that was going to be my next question.
Oh, yeah.
Because politics is politics.
Absolutely.
And I've heard there's some politics
Yes.
in Miramar. How do you intend to get all the politicians on your side?
Well, you know, once you become, I'm not saying that I know everything because I've never been a politician. I've been a public servant, right? But one thing I know, that articulation plays an important role in how you bring people together. I'm accustomed to bringing the ministries of education, the Jamaica Teachers Association, Broward College, Broward Schools. I bring all of these entities together. I'm not so sure why I can't bring everybody else together. I can do that. That's what my life is all about. Right? So it's a matter of art. If I say to the city, for example, if I say to the other commissioners, hey, if we do this, we're bringing in more revenue, right? And so that we don't have to raise taxes. Why would they say no?
Politics is politics.
Politics is politics.
So I mean, hopefully that's not the case.
Right,
But
you know.
yes,
And I understand. You know, I'm not there to be the man. I'm there to be a part of the team because that's how I work. All in all. So right now, as we work trying to become the next commissioner, you just have to do what you have to do. But I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that whatever, and you know that, I know that you know that whatever I speak, right, that I know how to back it up, and I know how to deliver, and I know that you can depend on my words and you can hold me accountable.
Okay.
Always.
Yes. I've been watching too many Chicago documentaries recently. I believe you can do what you say you're going to do. All right. Now, let us talk about your life in service, because you have these grand plans, and I'm sure you could go on all evening. I looked at your mission statement, kind of. You had a 5-point mission statement that you want to accomplish. Do you want to speak to those 5 things briefly?
It's what I was just talking about a while ago.
We've encapsulated all of that.
Yes,
I really want people to know about Leo now.
Yes.
So you're talking about your life in service as we've gone past the businessman. We can hear that you know your numbers and you're going to come and help me with my business at some point very soon. Just organize, because that's the part that we're a little lacking with. But moving on from that, I know you as the diaspora guy, one of them diaspora guys. You know, we have Marlon Hill down here. There's Wayne Golden. Wayne Golden up in in Orlando, wherever he is. And then there's Leo, right? So as the diaspora guy, you do a lot of work with the Jamaican diaspora community. Yes. I want to find out about what you do, or tell our viewers, because I've read it, right? Yes. But tell our viewers about some of that diaspora work you've done and how you're going to translate that type of service now to the broader Miramar.
That is so hard. There's so many things that I do, you know. Oh my God.
Give me a top 3. Give me a top 3. Yeah.
All right. So you know, I spend a lot of time with education.
Why?
Because I'm a teacher. Okay. I went to Sam Sharp Teachers College.
Sounds like a shout out, right?
And so I spent a lot of years in health also. I used to do a lot of health, but my teaching education is my life. And so I have access to about 400 persons right across the world. Mm-hmm. And England, if you notice, I started back in 2013 something called an Education Task Force. And that has translated over the past 5 years into 10 other task forces. Mm-hmm. I wrote a book on task force development and management and maintenance. And so, you know, just being able to translate what is called an education task force into crime task force, what else? Immigration task force, agriculture. I mean, you name it. All of these are modeled off of education, and you know, I'm not tapping my shoulder or anything, but it was my baby, and it still is my baby. Mm-hmm. And I saw an email today from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs that wrote to diaspora task force members, and that makes me feel good, right? Because once upon a time it used to be just diaspora members, but now they have a place in which they can direct their attention, there they can get action, you know. So it made me feel good. Right. So, but to list some of the things that I've done, I worked with the Jamaica Teachers Association a few years ago and implement a program where teachers move in the summer, come from Jamaica to California to Loma Linda University, where they learn how to teach STEM using iPads or all kind of devices. And that has been, we've had probably 325 teachers who have graduated from that program, because it's converted now from just going to California to the administrators now are going to Jamaica and teaching more teachers the same thing. So now we're using those 325 teachers as trainers to train people across Jamaica. So that's really a big thing, right? Just recently, in 2014, we started what is called an Advancement in Education Summit. Started in Jamaica. We did 2 of them in Jamaica. Last year we had the first one in Miramar. And after it was all done, Broward College saw what we did and said, Leo, can we get this at Broward College? And I said, yes, we can. So we've been working with Broward College from last year, May, and it's come to fruition now. We have a 4-day education conference, April 7th through 10th, right there on Broward College North Campus. And I am very proud of that, because we're bringing about 150 educators from the Caribbean, not just Jamaica, to here to talk to educators here. Now look how important this is. most of the teachers that are here in Broward and Miami-Dade are using technology in their classroom, right? Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean are still manual. They're still writing on chalkboards,
Right.
and and so a lot of teachers don't know what it means to write on a chalkboard. Or they don't know what it means to talk to a student who's coming from Barbados with a thick accent, or from Jamaica with a thick accent. So we're bringing these people together so that they can meet. There are 14,000 students from the Caribbean in Broward alone, right? And so if we want the best for these students, to avoid them sitting at the back because they're not speaking the tongue, then we bring these people together so that they understand the culture, understand how to teach them, understand where they're coming from, and so forth. And that makes a big difference to teachers, because it's like professional development. So it's professional development for the teachers who are coming from the Caribbean to come and learn how to teach using technology. So we're going to do tours of schools in Broward, different type of schools, technical schools, academic schools, all of these schools, and universities. And then they're coming to learn their advancements in technology. And then the teachers here are learning about, the manual system.
Yeah, and all of that stuff is lovely to hear about. I want to, as a Miramar resident, what have you done in the past that's going to help me? No. I get you now. I did ask you the question.
Yes, thank you.
I'm going to turn the question a little bit further though.
Thank you.
But as a Miramar resident, right, how is that going to help me?
Okay, so here goes.
Yeah.
That has helped me in Miramar, because as soon as I moved to Miramar, I applied to sit on a board, a Parks and Recreation board. And I was granted 4-year term to sit on that board, right? And I have made a lot of developments in that board. I have brought proposals to bring pen relays into Miramar, right? I've brought proposals to bring advancements in how to look at crime in various countries and see how you can impact your country of origin. I've sat on, in about 3 months after I got on the Parks and Rec, I got a letter from the mayor says, I have put you on as my proxy to sit on Sister City Committee. And now we are going into proposing for a Sister City Committee, our board, to be in Miramar so we can have international relationship with other cities across the world. And when I started on that board,
you're the mayor of Miramar in Jamaica then.
So when we first went on that board, there were 18 persons on that, and each commissioner and mayor had like 3 persons or so on the board. So there were 18 of us who started in November 2017. We finished up in October 2018, and by June there were only 3 of us left on the board. Everybody else don't have the time for it.
Right.
And so I personally wrote that bylaws, and I personally wrote that proposal to the city. So you are getting a lot of my expertise from.
And you're a doer. You're a doer.
Yes.
Talk about some of your philanthropic activities.
Lord of mercy.
Give me top 2, top 3. If
So,
you give me the bio, and I'll beat Leo.
all right.
I'm trying to introduce
I'm going to
you
give
to
you
the
one.
people.
I'm going to give you one.
Yes.
Philanthropic inside of here, because I'm sitting with. I am on the board of Partners for Youth. On the board where we mentor young kids.
What means the most to you? Is that the one that means the most to you? And I know that's going to be a tricky question.
Hard,
I don't want to make anybody feel.
No, not at all. Not at all.
But okay, what
means the most to me? Let me tell you what
Yeah.
means the most to me.
Yeah.
When I wake up in the morning at 3 o'clock, I'm looking for opportunities for people to do better with them, as an individual. And so when I wake up, I'm thinking about, okay, what can I do now to impact somebody's lives who would not normally have that other thing going. So it's not a matter of the project that I'm working on, but rather, the persons and the groups that are out there that need help.
Right.
And so when I get up, that's what I do. I think about that before I think about my job. You know what I mean? Before I think about the bread and butter that's coming on my table, I'm thinking about other people, always it. And by the time 8 o'clock rolls around, I would have sent out 15, 20 emails, to change someone's lives. So that's who I am.
You're a giver and a doer. Aww. Oh, Leo. What time is it?
Crazy, this one is crazy.
Let's do a time check. What time is it now? How much time do we have left to chat?
10 minutes.
We have 10 minutes. Okay.
Oh,
good.
yes.
Perfect timing. So here's one of the most important questions. Why are you running?
I'm running for commissioner for a bunch of reasons, but I'll tell you one key one, because it's the one that broke the camel's back, the straw that broke the camel. I sat in 4 budget meetings last year, and I watched as the attorneys and the accountant pitch the commissioners and the mayor, why they need this the tax increase, right? The millage increase, they call it. And after each of those 4 presentations, the incumbent would sit there through an hour and a half presentation, each of those presentations, and say nothing, and all she did was vote, yes or no, right? And I said to myself, hold on. I thought you are up there to represent the people, because I'm in the audience and I have a lot of questions about what's going on there. And if I have a lot of questions, then there are many more people in there may have questions, and you're sitting there and doing nothing, just voting. I think that our elected official must have as a responsibility, an obligation to speak about something, some line item that you either like or you don't like. And if you don't do that, then you are saying to the people, I don't understand it, this is too big for me, or I don't care about you, I just care about myself, or both. And so I said to myself, I can do better than that.
Gotcha.
I can do a whole lot better than that, because I can articulate the problems there and ask the appropriate questions to get an answer so that people understand.
Right.
So that's the one main reason that broke the straw, the camel's back, the straw that broke. However, I believe that because I am a people person, I am an educator, an accountant, a businessman, a philanthropist, all of that comes to bear, and it will make the commission a stronger commission. And people will now have hope. Hope is the expectation that something is going to happen, and I can create that. Right? And so when I decided to run, those were the reasons that I run. I believe that a commissioner should have the person's interest at heart, the person's home at heart, the person's community at heart, the city, and also build relationships internationally for the cities. That's how the city will move forward, and that's me.
That's you.
That's right up my alley.
All right, sir. And one of the things that I've heard kind of as a negative about Leo Gilling is that you're not from Miramar. Why should you be the representative of anybody in Miramar? You just got there yesterday.
Good question, but let me tell you this. Just like anybody who's been in Miramar for 20 years or 30 years, I've been in this country for 35 years. That counts for something, right? But let me tell you this. When I moved here in search of a city that represents me, a city that syncs with me, a city that I can call my home. I lived in one place for 22 years, all right? When you come here, you have to live somewhere. And so I love this city. The only I lived in Coral Springs first, and I felt like I was still in California, right? But the day I came to Miramar, I fell in love, and I fell in love with the diversity and the ease of talking to the commissioners and the mayor. It was pretty easy, because when I went to Coral Springs, it's like, them over there, so I'm here over here, so like, you know what I mean? But when I went to talk to these guys, they were really easy to talk to, and I felt at home, because this is where Bajans are, Cubans are, Jamaicans, all of these
So very
Haitians.
Caribbean.
It's really a Caribbean, flavor. Along with the other persons, the Americans and so it's really a real diverse community. And so
you connect with everybody?
Everybody. I connect with everybody. When I walk in the day, something? I believe that I am so much more confident. The difference between April last year and today is that I have the same amount of excitement to run, but meeting so many people have given me so much confidence to speak, to articulate, and to know that this is what I want to do. And so, yes, it's me. It's really me.
And final question, because I think we're almost out of time.
Yeah.
We still have 5 minutes?
Maybe
it won't be the 5 minutes. No. I want to know how much I can squeeze in there.
All right.
What is it that gives you confidence? Because we know that other than the presidential election, people are like, that don't matter, right? So what is it that's giving you confidence that you're going to get the people out to vote? Or what is it that should poke them, the ones that are watching now and the ones that need to go out and vote? What is it about you or anything that you have said this evening or anything about your philosophy that is going to make these people say, yes, I cannot do without this gentleman as my commissioner?
Well, I come with a lot of experience. I come with the knowledge and the understanding of what I need to do. But most of all, I understand people. I'm a teacher. And I understand children, I understand the needs, I understand the gaps and the challenges. I understand people. I'm an insurance agent, which means that when a person, let's say a husband lost a wife, and I have to bring a life insurance check to them, it makes a difference when you present that check at their lowest moment in that person's life, because they're not going to get their wife back, all right? But what they will have is some funds to bring them over the bridge.
Right.
And, you understand? So I understand people and their downtime and their gaps. And so I also I'm a happy-go-lucky guy. I think I make people understand when I speak and they can relate to me and I relate to them. I found that out today, for example. I'm walking. We went to about 400 homes today. And twice today, two cars, one car stopped and backed up and said, "Are you Mr. Gilling?" And I said, "Yes." He says, "I'm voting for you. I need some of those cards."
Good.
That just took my heart. Good. Okay. I walked today. I was at Dunkin' Donuts and sitting down, and I just decided to go inside of a salon. Right. I walked in, knocked on the door. When I opened it, the woman opened her eyes wide like this. And she says, "What are you doing here?" "I'm here talking to this woman and telling her that I'm going to vote for you, and you appear." Those things give me a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Even if I didn't plan to walk tomorrow morning, I'm going to get up and go walk.
Right.
Because it makes me feel good.
Can I tell you something? Canvassing is a lot of exercise.
I lost 12 pounds. I lost 12 pounds. Yes. You don't want to come to me? Come on.
No. I'm planning an event, which you know very well. So, no, I'm not walking with you. But I am here because, I see you working.
Yes.
I see you working. And anytime I can support somebody else that is working, because I know what it is to work.
Yes.
Real work, not the one where you go punch in a clock,
Yes.
but the kind of work where you believe in something and you're pushing towards that because of belief. And so I will support you in that way anytime.
Thank you so
at
much.
all.
You have to go give me a kiss on your jaw right now. For that speech there.
My makeup. All right, so I'm seeing that we're gonna wrap up now, but give me the not the who you are and what you are doing, but as a Miramar resident, what's in it for me?
Yeah.
So you, Mr. Miramar resident, are gonna get this when you get.
Oh, you're gonna get a person who, as I said, understand, who's willing to work, someone you can hold accountable. A lot of us go inside as elected officials and we go in just to spend the dollar. Anybody can spend $300 million.
But you're going to change my life, how?
I'm going to change your life by making it more community oriented, more so that you can become more social with the people around you. I'm going to also find a way how not to make your taxes go up. I'm going to create, I want to propose those movie theaters. I want to propose the lead light city to create tourism, and I want to propose that Shirley Branca Park thing. I mean, yeah.
So you're going to give me more entertainment. You're going to allow me to keep more money in my pocket. You're going to improve my environs. You're going to allow me to use my environs more than they have been because they're fabulous. And you're going to keep all the money inside
of Miramar. That's it. There you go. All of the money going to keep inside of Miramar.
That sounds good.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
I might move to Miramar.
Oh, yes! Oh, I'm on TV still, right?
Or maybe not. We'll see. I kind of like my place. But thank you, Mr. Gilling.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
It's been great. It's always nice chatting to you anyway. Right?
All right.
I need you on my show the next time.
Well, when your show comes back on.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you.